Today we're doing human flags. So let's break this down. How do we do the human flag? Prerequisites for attempting a human flag is definitely gonna be pull-ups and knee raises and core. You're gonna be using a lot of back and a lot of core to do a human flag. So if your pull-up game is good and your abdominal/core game is good, you should be able to do a human flag. First, you gotta find a good place to train the human flag. If you've seen this online, you've probably seen it done on a number of different things, ladders, poles, all kinds of things. And you can literally human flag on pretty much anything you can get a grip on. However, when you can find something like I have kind of set here that has flat grips, it's gonna make that human flag a lot easier. If you're trying to human flag on like a pole, which you may have seen online, it's harder because your grip is very difficult. When you can grab a straight bar like we have here and we have here, it's gonna make that human flag a lot easier because your grip is so much stronger and you can really control how straight you are. If you're trying to learn this with a pole like you see here, trying a grip like this, which is called a C grip, it's hard because you're gripping at this awkward angle, meaning you're gonna kind of sway like a flag would, and you can't really control that. When you're gripping straight up like this on what's called a T grip, you can hold yourself very firmly and very straight, making your human flag a lot easier. So I would recommend finding a grip like this if you can. If you have like one of these squat racks like I have here, it's really easy as long as these rack or weight spacers are spaced out nicely. I have 4 here. I find that with your human flag, you want a grip or a width that's a bit beyond your shoulder width. If you're too wide, it makes it really hard. If you're too narrow, it also makes it very hard. You wanna find kind of a neutral grip, kind of like this, making a nice Y. That's gonna make your human flag very strong. So, that being said, let's get into how we would train this human flag. The first thing we're gonna talk about is our top grip. So, first decide if it's gonna feel better for you to have your right arm down and your left arm up, like so, or is it gonna feel better for you to have your left arm down and your right arm up, like so. Each person typically has a stronger side. For me, for whatever reason, my right arm down and my left arm up like this feels stronger and I have more control. So first, find out which side is better for you. Once you figure that out, we can get started. So, the most important part of this human flag is gonna be your lower arm. You can think of this as kind of like a kickstand. This arm needs to have a firm grip, and you need to keep this arm extremely straight because it's literally gonna be holding up all of your weight. If this arm bends or gives, your flag is gonna be weak and you're gonna fall. You want this arm extremely straight and locked out so it can fully support all of your weight, kind of like you're seeing here. If I bend here, all of a sudden I'm relying on my muscles and my triceps in my arm and my shoulder to kind of hold myself up. When I lock it out, because it's straight, that arm is kind of pushing into my shoulder joint, making it very easy to hold myself up. So key point, straight arm here, and we are pushing our body out. A lot of people, when they try this flag, once they have their grip, they're either too hunched forward or they're too hunched backward, making it very hard, and you're gonna swing backwards if you're facing back, or you'll tilt forwards if you're chasing forward. You need to push out, keeping your body straight and perpendicular so you have strength. Once we have this, you're gonna take your top arm, you're gonna bring it up to your top grip, making sure that your hands are in line with each other. They cannot be off, again, either this way or this way, because again, your flag will twist, making it hard. They need to be straight, bottom arm straight. We're gonna take this top arm, once we have a grip right on top of the other, and we're gonna pull with this top arm. So we're pulling here with the top, and we're pushing here with the bottom, and it's this torque which makes our human flag. You can almost see as I'm kind of standing here neutrally, right? I'm just standing neutral. As soon as I push here and I pull here, I can almost just pull my body off the ground for that flag. And that power, again, is coming from flexing my body from my core all the way through my feet, pushing with this arm, and then pulling with that top arm to make that human flag. So, I'm gonna take a rest here for a second because that pull is extremely tiring. Once we have the side figured out that we're gonna use, you have that bottom arm straight, that top arm here. What we're gonna work on is kind of like I just showed you, gently pulling yourself up so you can feel that tension for your flag here. If you're just starting, this is obviously gonna be a lot harder than I'm making it seem, but I want you to feel what it feels like to keep this arm straight, keep our body straight, facing in front of you, and pulling with that top arm so you can kind of feel what it would feel like to pull yourself into this flag. If you can't get off the ground yet, that's totally fine. We'll work on that in these next steps, but once you get your hand position and your orientation down, then you can move on. Okay, now that you have a feel for the human flag, the next progression we're gonna work on is basically jumping into what would be called a top position, and we're gonna lower down into what's called a flag negative, so you can essentially build flag strength. So what this looks like before I get too deep into it is, I'm gonna find my hand position here, I'm gonna push on bottom, pull on top, kick my body up into a straight line. This is gonna feel really awkward. Put my feet up, twist out, keeping that arm straight, and lower down, flag negative, into a human flag. If you can't hold this human flag right off the bat, which is gonna be extremely difficult, especially if you're just starting, that's totally fine. What this does is it really just shows you what it feels like to come down into that human flag, allows you to practice finding that straight position, and the most important part, it's gonna build your core and human flag strength, so you can rep these out, essentially making your flag stronger and stronger. So key point here, kicking up so that I'm totally vertical, my body all the way up, like so, where I can just hold this comfortably. I'm not, partially up, kind of like here. I'm literally kicking all the way up. Key point here, again, is keeping this arm straight so that it can hold all of your weight without much tension. Straightening out here, and you can just lower down and try to go as slowly as possible to really build that human flag strength. You can come down just like I did, bring your feet back, kick back up, straighten out, and lower down again, working these flag negatives to help you build that human flag strength. As you do more and more of these, again, your core and your back, and in general, you're gonna get stronger and stronger, making these flags easier. Now, if you're finding this human flag negative to be difficult, an easy modification you can do, get in position. Almost grabbed the wrong one there. Actually, I could probably do it here too. This grip's a little smaller, but I'll try it for the sake of the video. Let's just try this. Getting here, I'm gonna kick up, and instead of making my legs fully straight, I'm gonna bend them, making me essentially a little bit lighter, and working this flag negative here with bent knees. You're gonna find that because you have less weight going all the way out, because your knees are bent, you're gonna be lighter, making that human flag a lot easier. So I'm gonna do one more of those. I'm gonna use this lower grip. It's a little bit wider and just feels a little better for me. I'm gonna grab here, I'm gonna kick up again, I'm gonna bend my knees on top, I'm gonna come down, flag negative once I find that straight, and bam, keeping my knees bent there. Again, working that flag negative, getting stronger and stronger. What you're gonna find is as you're doing these flag negatives, eventually, as you bring it down, you're gonna be able to control it better and actually stop. And that's the goal. Once you can stop and hold that flag, that means you can literally do a human flag. Okay, now you should be at a point where we have worked these flag negatives, worked our hand position and body position to where you're at a point where you can basically attempt these human flags and somewhat feel what you're doing. Once you get here, something to really keep in mind is that when we've got this flag going on, you've got that bottom arm straight, you're pulling with this top arm, you really want to extend your body out through your toes. And what I mean is really locking everything out. So when you're holding that flag, you're pushing literally through your toes, flexing your entire body so that you can do that flag. The straighter and tight, or the straighter and tighter you are keeping your entire body, the stronger your flag is going to be. As soon as any part of you starts to give out, whether it's your lower arm, whether it's your core or your feet, your flag is gonna start sinking and it's gonna make it that much harder. Again, When you can keep everything strong, your human flag is going to be strong. So as I get out here, kicking everything as strong as possible so I can stay as flat as possible. You can even probably hear that in my voice. It's hard to talk because I'm flexing so hard to do that human flag. Okay, lastly, and probably most impressively, how do we just walk up to something like this and just jump into a human flag? Meaning, how do you just walk up, get right here and be like, boom, human flag, because that's the goal. That's what we want to get to. So key point, again, make sure you've got straight arm on bottom, straight arm on top. We're pushing here, pulling here. Key point here, and again, you can start with this if you want to. If you want to start with this technique, you can, but it is a lot harder. It's a lot harder to pop into a flag than it is to lower down into one, as I showed you before. But if you're ready, or you want to get into it, here is what you do. Set your hands first, very important, like I said. Strong base, strong top. We're gonna align them. I'm gonna get ready to push here and pull here. You're gonna take your outside leg with your inside foot planted, and you're gonna kick this foot up. This is gonna take you into that flag. This momentum here is gonna take you up. When I make this kick, as soon as I send this outside foot and I bring that inside foot up to meet it, I'm gonna kick perfectly straight, extending out through my toes like I mentioned before, and flexing the whole body to hit that flag. So when you're set and you're ready, kick out, bottom foot, straight, and that is your human flag. I'm really pulling on top, I'm pushing on bottom to hit that flag. If you're having any issues with holding the flag, getting into position, or you just feel like you can't quite get it again, rewatch this video, really rework each step. I know I keep repeating myself with how important that bottom arm and top arm placement is, but that's really important on keeping your body straight to hold that flag. At the beginning, one of the most common things that happens is you're gonna sway forward or you're gonna sway back, and that really has to do with either your hands not being perfectly aligned with each other, or you're not pushing enough to keep yourself flat. If you're sinking in either direction, forward or backward, you're gonna sway. So again, stay straight, bottom arm straight and strong, top arm pulling, extending through your toes, and that should get you to the human flag. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay tuned for more advanced videos to come. Next time, I'm gonna work on showing you how to do human flag push-ups or human flag pull-ups, which essentially are gonna look like this. You're gonna human flag, you're gonna pull and push out. That's a whole nother thing though. Can't do that until you have the human flag down. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below with any questions or anything else you wanna see.